Holger Rune never meant to say it, but once the words left his mouth, there was no taking them back. What began as a casual interview and a simple question about fellow players suddenly shifted when he mentioned her name, Alex Eala. The brief pause, the sideways glance, the hesitation in his voice, nothing went unnoticed by the tennis world. In that instant, a private admiration spilled into the open, setting off what would soon become one of the sport's most talked about revelations. In professional tennis, some players carry more than personal ambition onto the court. They bear the dreams of entire nations. Holger Rune, the fiery Danish sensation with a devastating backhand, had become exactly that for Denmark. At just 21, he had already cracked the top 10, beaten multiple Grand Slam champions, and cemented himself as one of the ATP's most electrifying young stars. His rise wasn't merely meteoric, it felt essential, as Denmark hadn't produced a tennis figure of this magnitude in generations, and Rune wore that responsibility like armor. Meanwhile, across the tennis universe on the WTA circuit, another young star was navigating her own pressure-filled ascent, as Alex Eala, the Filipino trailblazer, was becoming far more than just a tennis player to her nation. She was more than an athlete to her country, she was a symbol. Alex Eala became the first Filipino to win a Grand Slam title at any level when she captured the U.S. Open Girls Singles Championship, then the first to break into the WTA Top 200 and later the Top 150. Every match she played carried meaning far beyond rankings or prize money. It was about proving that a nation of more than 110 million people belonged in tennis's highest tiers. Her path occasionally crossed with Holger Rune's at combined ATP, WTA events, a reminder of how small the professional tennis world truly is, with the same hotels, practice courts, and player lounges shared by champions and qualifiers alike. Yet they never occupied the same spotlight. He was the temperamental prodigy chasing Masters 1000 glory, while she was the determined barrier breaker grinding through WTA 125 events to earn her place on the main tour. What made their dynamic compelling was how similar they truly were beneath the surface. Both carried national expectations heavy enough to crush lesser athletes, both tasted breakthrough success at a young age and now faced the perilous task of living up to it, and both possessed that rare blend of technical brilliance and mental toughness that separates the good from the potentially great. And whether they admitted it or not, they shared the quiet loneliness of being their country's lone standard-bearer at the top of an individual sport. The tennis community, despite its global sprawl, is intensely tight-knit. Players watch each other's matches, share trainers and practice courts, and understand pressures outsiders never could. So when Alex Eala broke new ground for Filipino tennis, her peers noticed. Holger Rune noticed too, despite the distance between their circuits. What no one realized was just how closely he had been watching until that interview, until the moment his carefully guarded thoughts finally slipped into the open. His carefully maintained professional facade slipped just enough to reveal something genuine beneath it, because in tennis as in life, it's often the unscripted moments that tell the truest stories. What happens when admiration becomes impossible to hide? What was meant to be a routine press obligation quickly turned into something else entirely. It was a post-practice media session at a Masters 1000 event, the kind Holger Rune had done hundreds of times before, where predictable questions are met with polished, rehearsed answers. The setting was casual, a shaded area near the practice courts, tennis balls popping rhythmically in the background as Rune sat in his practice gear, relaxed and ready to coast through another forgettable 15 minutes. The journalist opened with the usual topics: tournament preparation, the draw, recovery from a minor injury, and Rune responded with effortless professionalism. He felt good. The knee was fine. He welcomed the challenge. Standard, safe, and entirely unremarkable. Then came the question that changed everything. Asked whether there were any rising WTA players he admired with both tours in town that week, the expectation was obvious: names like Coco Gauff or Mira Andreeva, the safe and familiar choices. But Rune didn't answer right away. He paused, longer than normal, his eyes drifting slightly to the side in the way they do when someone is searching real memory rather than rehearsed lines. Then he smiled, not the controlled press conference smile, but something softer, almost shy. Alex Eala, he said, her name coming out quieter than everything before. I think what she's doing for Filipino tennis is incredible. The way she fights in every match, the way she's had to qualify and grind through smaller tournaments just to earn chances on the main tour, it's really impressive. The journalist immediately sensed something different, and it came through in the follow-up, curiosity now edging into their voice. You follow her results? Another pause. Rune shifted in his seat, and for a brief moment the confident top 10 star looked like a 21-year-old who'd just been asked about a crush.
I mean, yeah.
"I think a lot of us do," he said. "She has a really complete game. Her movement is excellent, and her mental strength, especially in tight matches, that's something you can't coach. You either have it or you don't. She has it." What made the moment extraordinary was the specificity. Rune wasn't offering empty, generic praise or the kind of throwaway compliments athletes use when they don't truly follow someone's career. He spoke about her movement, her composure under pressure, details that only come from watching match after match, from genuinely paying attention. Sensing he'd uncovered something, the journalist pushed further, asking whether the two had ever practiced together or talked tennis. Rune's expression shifted again, the awareness setting in that this conversation had gone somewhere unexpected. "We've talked a few times at tournaments, just player lounge stuff," he said, before adding, "but she's really dedicated. I respect that." Then came the line that would dominate tennis social media for days. "She's someone I think is going to surprise a lot of people. She has everything it takes to break into the top 50, maybe higher. And when she does, people will realize how special she is. When she does, not if." That certainty, that confidence in another player's future, revealed a level of personal investment few had anticipated. The interview soon drifted back to safer ground: serve mechanics, tactics, tournament plans, but the revelation was already out. Within an hour, the clip was online. Within 2, it was everywhere across tennis Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And within 3 hours, Filipino tennis fans had begun to react. Within hours, fans were creating compilation videos titled "Holger Rune Respects Alex Eala," set to emotional music and shared across every platform. By the 6-hour mark, tennis gossip accounts were posting side-by-side photos of Rune and Eala, each caption fueling speculation about what his words really meant. Without intending to, Holger Rune had done the one thing professional athletes are trained to avoid. He revealed something genuine, something personal, something that felt like more than routine professional respect. The internet was primed to lose its mind, and this was only the beginning. If tennis fans are known for one thing, it's elite-level detective work, and once Rune's interview dropped, the online tennis world morphed into a full-blown investigation unit. The mystery wasn't about trophies or rankings, but about how deep his admiration for Alex Eala truly went. It started on Twitter, where a Filipino tennis fan account reposted the clip with the caption, "Holger speaking about Alex Eala with that smile. I see you." Within minutes, quote tweets poured in, dissecting every pause and every word, especially the line, "When she does, not if she does." To many fans, that kind of certainty signaled something more. Then someone dug into Rune's social media history, and that's when things escalated. A user uncovered a practice photo Eala had posted 7 months earlier from Spain, and buried deep in the comments, 73 replies down, was a simple fire emoji from Rune's verified account. At the time, it had gone unnoticed, lost among thousands of interactions, but now it felt like evidence. Soon after, another fan found that Rune had viewed Eala's Instagram story celebrating her first WTA main draw win months earlier. Though story views aren't public, a leaked screenshot from Eala's close friends list showed Rune's account among the viewers. The investigation only intensified when a tennis photographer's archive surfaced a photo from Indian Wells, a combined ATP WTA event, showing Rune and Eala in the background of a practice court shot, both waiting for courts, appearing to be engaged in quiet conversation. Suddenly, what once seemed like coincidence began to look like a pattern, appeared to be in conversation, laughing together. The photo had been taken 4 months earlier and had barely attracted 40 likes when it was first posted. Now it was being shared thousands of times, reposted with captions like "They've been talking, and look at the way he's looking at her." Tennis drama YouTubers jumped in immediately, churning out videos with titles such as "Holger Rune's Secret Crush" and "Why Alex Eala Has ATP Players' Attention." The algorithm did the rest, pushing the story to hundreds of thousands of viewers who might never have heard of either player before. TikTok became its own self-contained universe of speculation, filled with romantic montages splicing Rune's matches with Eala's, set to trending songs about secret admiration. One viral edit compared their playing styles, pointing out similarities in court positioning and shot selection and suggesting they may have discussed strategy. It racked up 2.3 million views. On Reddit, the tennis community created a mega-thread titled "The Rune Eala Situation," everything we know, compiling every interaction, every shared tournament city, every possible connection. Fans noted that both had trained at the Muradaglu Academy years earlier, albeit at different times, and resurfaced an old interview where Eala mentioned practicing against male players to elevate her game, sparking speculation about whether Rune had been one of them. For the Filipino tennis community, this moment felt entirely new. Alex Eala had already put the country on the tennis map through her achievements, but this was different. One of the ATP's brightest young stars publicly praising her with a warmth and specificity that felt personal. Filipino sports talk shows debated what it meant, morning radio programs in Manila discussed it, and the story spilled beyond tennis into entertainment news, relationship gossip, and national pride. Not everyone was pleased, though. Some of Ayala's supporters pushed back, questioning why this was even a story at all. "She's an incredible player on her own," one viral tweet read. "She doesn't need validation from a male player to be worthy of attention." The post drew more than 15,000 likes and ignited a broader debate about whether the focus on Rune's comments risked overshadowing Ayala's individual accomplishments by framing her success through a man's approval. Danish fans had mixed reactions as well. Some found Rune's openness endearing, a refreshing glimpse of humanity, while others worried it was a distraction during an already inconsistent season. Holger should focus on his game, not WTA players, one forum post argued. Even seasoned tennis journalists were unsure how to frame it. One veteran reporter summed up the dilemma perfectly. "I've covered tennis for 20 years. Players admire each other all the time, but the way Rune spoke about Eala, the technical detail, the personal investment in her future, I've honestly never heard anything quite like it." That speculation hit a fever pitch when fans realized that both Rune and Eala were entered in an upcoming combined event just 2 weeks away. The possibility of them sharing the same tournament, answering questions about each other, appearing in the same photos, even exchanging a few public words became the tennis internet's most anticipated subplot. But what no one truly expected was the backlash that followed. For every fan celebrating Rune's comments about Alex Eala, there was another who saw the situation very differently. As the story continued to dominate tennis social media, the criticism grew louder, sharper, and increasingly impossible to ignore. It began with a viral thread from a prominent WTA fan account asking, "Can we talk about how problematic this whole Rune-Eala thing is?" The post argued that a top ATP player's opinion had suddenly made Eala seem legitimate to the wider public, even though she had been grinding and achieving for years. To many, this wasn't about Rune's sincerity but about what it revealed regarding how women's tennis is covered. The thread struck a nerve, spreading rapidly as journalists, former players, and advocates weighed in. A respected columnist soon published a piece titled, "Alex Eala doesn't need Holger Rune's approval," laying out her achievements: her junior Grand Slam title, her steady climb up the WTA rankings despite limited resources, and her role as a pioneer for an entire nation. Those accomplishments, the article argued, deserved full attention on their own merit, not as a footnote to an ATP player's praise. The criticism widened further, with many pointing out the discomfort of fans shipping two real athletes who had never publicly suggested any romantic interest. "These are real people, not characters in a TV show," one tweet read. Even some of Rune's supporters worried the attention was a distraction, especially during an inconsistent stretch of his season, shifting focus away from his tennis and toward his personal feelings. Podcasts devoted entire episodes to the ethical gray area, with sports psychologists noting how carefully elite players are trained to choose their words and how Rune's unguarded moment had put both athletes in an awkward position. Yet for every critic, there was an equally vocal defense. Many argued that there was nothing wrong with one elite athlete offering informed, specific praise of another. Rune had spoken about Ayala's movement, mental strength, and work ethic not in vague or patronizing terms, but with clear technical respect. Filipino tennis fans, in particular, offered a powerful counterpoint. For years, they said, Alex Eala's achievements had gone largely unnoticed outside the Philippines. If Rune's comments finally brought her the international recognition she deserved, why should that be viewed as a negative? As one former WTA player turned commentator noted on air, when established players acknowledge your game early in your career, it can be a turning point not because you needed their approval, but because the spotlight finally catches up to the reality of your talent. It mattered because recognition at that level can change a career, raising a player's profile, opening doors to better practice opportunities, increased media coverage, and even sponsor interest. To some, if Rune's praise helped Alex Eala's career, that was undeniably a good thing, proof that it's possible to acknowledge systemic issues in how women's tennis is covered while still accepting meaningful support when it appears. The debate exposed deep divisions in how the situation was interpreted. Was this simple professional respect or something more personal, a heartwarming moment of mutual understanding between two young athletes carrying national expectations, or a symptom of deeper inequities in how women athletes are perceived? Reddit's tennis forum became a battleground, with one highly upvoted comment insisting that fans were overthinking it, two players recognizing each other's games. Nothing more, while an equally popular response argued that the very fact this became a multi-day story proved the problem, noting how rarely a WTA player's praise of an ADP player sparks similar attention. Professional players weighed in carefully, posting vague but pointed messages about recognizing women grinding on tour regardless of who's watching, while Rune's team eventually issued a polished, emotionless statement emphasizing respect and professionalism, a sharp contrast to the warmth that had fueled the original viral moment. Fans immediately noticed the shift, speculating that lawyers and PR had taken over, and questioning which version felt more real. Yet one question lingered above all others. What did Alex Eala herself think? In the end, what began as an accidental revelation became a reminder that athletes are more than rankings and results. They're young people navigating intense scrutiny, searching for genuine moments of connection in a hypervisible world. Rune's comments revealed the human side of competition, respect, recognition, and shared understanding between those living the same rare reality. Whether their connection was friendship, romance, or simple mutual admiration, both handled the unexpected spotlight with remarkable grace, showing that some of the most compelling stories in tennis aren't about rivalries, but about acknowledgement and respect. What happens next in their careers and in whatever form their relationship takes remains to be seen, but this moment will be remembered as the time an honest answer to a simple question reminded everyone that behind the trophies and rankings, tennis players are just people who notice, admire, and support each other. What do you think really happened between Holger and Alex? Pure professional respect or something more? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more stories about the drama, emotions, and untold moments behind women's tennis, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We'll see you in the next one.